Who is in charge? Who's at the wheel? Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Who's at the wheel? The ship is drifting, but the captain's at a party. Victoria answer the call, logic on the sleep, by the madness stand tall. In the harbor of Durban, the steel ships ride. The ANC plays a game of seek and hide. They calls for the exercise, invite big east wind in participation and still they're the ones who sin. Iran was on the list. I guess that the day gonna say who invited them. It must have been fake. Confusion in the union building, shadows on the wall. Well, the truth gets buried in the marble. Who is running the land? Tell me who's in command. Is it the suit in the office or the gun in the hand? From the Congo to the Pretoria Street, they drums off the ropes like a skipper beat. No boots for the boys, so armor for the chase. But millions for the general to go take a rest. And this speaks of an inquiry, a boat to be found, but the face turned to weeks and the paper is torn. No answers some in town, just a heavy silence. Violent people in the push phase, no rebel violence. Sent to the jungle with no wings in the sky, only 3 helicopters. How can they fly? No man ever coming when the net starts to rain. Changed by the rebels, oh the pride and the brain. No uniforms, no boots, for wait. No bother budget for the deed salute. 372 million for a retirement spree, while the Navy is sinking beneath the sea. After submarine moving at a sailor inside, but the party lights are burning through the Pretoria night. The chief of defense is a law to himself. Commander of the Navy puts the state on his shelf. Defying the code, I'm ignoring the say, while the codes of the past start to wave and to skirt. And what's this whisper? What's this dark moves? A general charged with murder, and he's the one they choose. From Modi to the top, by the darkest cold. Is this the new story that's being told? Who is running the land? Tell me who's in command. Is it Cyril? Is it Angie? Does Bonnie understand? From the Congo to the Pretoria Street, the drums of the road start to skip. Bobby, no boots for the boys, no armor for the chase, but millions for the general to go take a rest. The generals are dancing, the politicians are glancing, the money is diminishing, and the soldiers are wondering who's the boss. Cyril, who's the boss? Angie. The military's gone rogue in the sun. The foray has only just begun.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. My head looks crooked. What's going on here? The beard. Beard looking a little crooked there. Odd to say the least. It's time to cut it all off, maybe. Welcome back to the program. Just keep playing with this beard. It doesn't want to play nice. There we go. A little grooming as we get the program. Leon gave 14 rand, says hello there. Well, hello to you. Do we have the alert box on? I don't think we do because we had an interview on here. Yeah, I had an interview earlier. Well, welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Mad Max says, be respectful, debate ideas, not people, zero tolerance for hate speech, spam, or personal attacks, followers be blocked. Please hold all refugee questions to the end. And that's actually very good. Thank you for clarifying the rules in one quick statement that we've probably not put up there. So I put rules up previously a few months back because people are acting like tools. But I guess we need to do it again. Thank you for that, Mad Max. Right, those are the rules. Adhere to them, please. Welcome to everybody on the program. It's time for the news once again. Your daily dose, your daily injection, your daily protection, your vaccination, your protection against hyperbole, hysteria, misinformation, disinformation, mainstream legacy media's lies, and political lies around the planet. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. This is Chris live in my studio in central Pennsylvania. And we're here to bring you the news as best we can. Well, we've got some news. Let's go ahead and get to that news. But before we do, let's divert for just a moment. South Africa's ruling president and president of the ruling political party, which has a plurality of votes, not a majority of votes in the National Assembly, Cyril Ramaphosa has come out saying that the forces of right-wing imperialism are a threat to South Africa's democracy and to its people. I would argue that the threat to South Africa's people and its democracy is the African National Congress itself, which governs illegitimately in so many fashions and crafts a foreign policy detrimental to the interests of South Africans, allying itself with terror states, oligarchs, communist oppressors, and genocideers, all while professing to be the moral compass of the world, calling for a rules-based order, while conveniently violating the rules-based order by allowing South African companies to ship defense materiel to a UN-sanctioned warlord in eastern Libya, while allowing the recruitment and deployment of South African citizens as mercenaries to kill Ukrainians in an illegal war started by Russia, and failing to condemn Russia's actions while actively supporting them, while carrying the water for the Tehran terror regime and inviting a terror-designated group, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, to participate in naval exercise in South Africa. Who follows the rules-based order? Not South Africa. Who violates the World Trade Organization with 70% tariffs on U.S. poultry? Not the U.S., South Africa. Who imposes quotas on U.S. automobiles? South Africa, but allows Chinese and Indian vehicles to flood into the country at dangerously high levels, destroying South African industry? South Africa's ANC. That's who does that. Who bans U.S. pork products, the best pork on the planet? South Africa's ANC. So, before throwing stones at so-called right-wing imperialism, which is clearly another strike at the United States, attacking the United States yet again for another foolish reason, to gain what? Favor with the mullahs in Tehran who just murdered thousands of people in the streets while you held a naval exercise with their terror-designated navy at your doorstep? Who exactly are you currying favor with here? The Chinese? George Soros? The German leftist? Keir Starmer? Who are you trying to curry favor with here? You're acting against the interests of South Africans. That is the bottom line. Stupid people around the world listening to idiots all over the world. Well, good news, though, for South Africa. We can start off with some good news here. Despite lawlessness, gangsterism, construction mafia, taxi mafia, murdering tourists on their way to the Cape Town airport, raping and murdering tourists on Table Mountain, despite the fact that tourists are harmed all over South Africa, the government and the media have done a good job of downplaying that information, the murder of foreign nationals in South Africa, not sharing much of that, keeping it from the public. And as a consequence, people are coming to South Africa, but mostly because it's been cheap and has a lot to offer. Someone just had their comment deleted because it couldn't follow the rules. The rules were stated very clearly at the beginning by Mad Max, and someone can't follow the rules. And so, once again, I don't care if you've been watching this program for 20 years. You need to follow the rules. It's very simple. It's very rude and disrespectful to not follow the rules. So, let me pin that message. Pin message. The rules are pinned to the top in case anyone is curious or doesn't understand the rules after watching this program for such a long period of time. Despite all the drawbacks of South Africa, it is a wonderful place to visit if you're not raped or murdered. So, let's talk about the good news for South Africa today. The tourism industry is doing quite well. Finally past the COVID. And of course, Tani Pat's going to get all the credit for this, even though she has virtually nothing to do with it. South African tourism welcomes a record 10.48 million visitors in 2025. It's a 17.6% increase over the previous year. Thank you for the 35 Rand, Westhouse. Minister of Tourism Patricia Little said this is the highest number of arrivals on record and showed the country to recover from the effects of COVID on the tourism industry. This performance confirms tourism's growing contribution to the economy. She linked tourism to job creation, saying that the job was created for every 13 international tourist arrivals. Currently, the industry sustains 1.8 million direct and indirect jobs. But they do have a plan to continue growing tourism. Ease of access, coordinated destination marketing, tourism safety. Tourism product development and technology, artificial intelligence. Not really sure how that's going to play a role, but that is interesting. So tourism is on the rise in South Africa despite its challenges. She notes that plans for job creation and sector are contributing. Westhouse says most leftist Europeans only believe their TikTok feed. Well, you are correct about that, or their Twitter feeds. DeLillo disclosed that South Africa 51 business events through the South African National Convention Bureau projected to inject $894 million into the economy. Meetings Africa 2025 generated $690 million and supported 1,200 jobs, while Africa's travel and DABA contributed over $610 million and supported 1,000 jobs. But those are temporary jobs. They're not long-term jobs. Foreign tourists visiting South Africa. The U.S. number has not increased yet, still below previous years, but Germany and the UK are up. Netherlands are up, Australia is up slightly, France is up, Brazil is up significantly, Canada is down, Switzerland is up, and Russia is up. So, there you go. Foreign visitors. 33,600 Americans travel to South Africa. Doesn't seem like a lot. 3.96 million travelers passed through South African ports of entry during the month of December. 997,000 were overnight visitors. Most tourists, 74%, came from SADC countries, reflecting continued regional mobility over the holidays. Only 238,000 tourists arrived from overseas markets. Well, that's the bottom line here. So why are we so happy about tourism? What they're calling tourism is seldom tourism. It's more like people from Gaborone going shopping in Pretoria, or people from Windhoek going to Cape Town, or more likely, on top of that, people from Harare going to South Africa to buy goods they can't get in Zimbabwe. They're calling that tourism. It's shopping, not tourism. You can call it tourism all you want, but only 238,000 foreign tourists. That's where the money is. That's where the cash comes from. That's where the dollars get generated. Foreign tourists. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. President Cyril Ramaphosa says that right-wing imperialism is the biggest threat to South Africa. I think he's smoking his socks. Hey, Erica. I think he's smoking his socks. Seriously. ANC says they must act against right-wing threats. They were talking about this. We acknowledge that 2026 will be a challenging year wherein our country and the world will be confronted by both challenges and opportunities. The forces of right-wing imperialism globally and domestically are seemingly on the offensive, and we need to ensure that our movement and our government take appropriate action to protect our nation and its people. Of course, the question, Cyril, is what is our nation and who are our people? South Africa and 63 million South Africans, or South Africa and the 50 million you constantly refer to? Yeah. Fikile Mabalula says there's prima facie evidence of wrongdoing in the Joburg conference. Aha! Ballot boxes that were found in Pretoria sparked police and political drama. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabalula says there's prima facie evidence of wrongdoing in how the Johannesburg Regional Conference was run. This comes after ballot boxes from the regional conference where Loyoso Masuka defeated Dada Moreau for the chairmanship were discovered at a house in Pretoria. In a letter dated January 26, directed to the provincial regional leadership, Hope Papo and Sasabona Manganye, as well as National Executive Committee member and convener of deployees to Gauteng, Kumbudzu, and Chaveni. Haha, that sounds familiar. Babalo's office received intelligence that showed possible misconduct involving elections agency appointed to run the conference. So, let me get this straight. The ANC and corruption. I believe that. The ANC and stolen votes. I believe that. Fikile Mabalula says his office received intelligence Mabulula and intelligence in the same sentence. I'm sorry. It's not plausible. It's simply not plausible. Fikeli Mabulula and intelligence in the same sentence. Oh, aidez-moi. As Fred Sanford said, Elizabeth, I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming. I'm all choked up on that one. Oh, my goodness. Fikeli Mabulula and intelligence. Oof. 7 murders in Cape Town, greater Cape Town area in just 24 hours. 7 people found dead in parts of Cape Town on Monday. Most of the victims sustained multiple gunshots to their bodies. A wave of violence of 7 people found dead in separate incidents. Most of the victims, including the youngest, just 21 years old. In the latest shooting in 9/11 Guguletu, 2 young men, aged 21 and 23, gunned down while walking through an alley with 4 friends. Reports of 2 unknown suspects approached and shot the 2 victims in the head multiple times. The 4 males they were with at the time managed to flee on foot. This is not the first murder seen in the township, and unfortunately it won't be the last. Criminality has taken over the country, and firearms are the source of so many deaths. It's unacceptable, and serious actions must be taken to get these guns off the streets. Elsewhere in the city, 2 bodies were discovered in a canal in Monenberg. Both victims shot in the upper body. Deceased were aged 40 and 52. In Ravensmead, a man was shot dead, and another was injured in Pine Crescent in Eureka Estate. Sitting outside the victim's home on a pavement when an unknown vehicle stopped and opened fire. Community activist Claudine Coleridge said the ongoing gang violence in the Elsie River and Ravensmead areas is horrific. This is the daily life of our people, and it is unacceptable. It cannot be allowed that our people are being killed like this in broad daylight. It is not okay. Mitchell's Plains, the body of a 34-year-old man was found in the taxi rank in the 7th Avenue Eastridge. He was found lying lifeless on the pavement with no visible injuries. In Delft, a 40-year-old man was shot dead at Lanka Hookies in front of the B14N2 gateway. Gunshot wound to the head. Wow, things are looking dicey and spicy in Cape Town. Well, the Hawks are not up to the task. Civil society groups urge Parliament to reform the criminal justice system. Never should have disbanded the Scorpions. This is what you get. Civil society organizations Accountability Now and the African Policing Civilian Oversight Forum have submitted formal proposals to Parliament's ad hoc committee to assist in its investigation into alleged corruption within the criminal justice system. The investigation follows a bombshell media briefing held last year by KZN Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nandlet Mkwanazi, who implicated senior law enforcement officials interfering in police work. Advocate Paul Hoffman, Director of Accountability Now, addressed the current state of law enforcement, described the administration as dysfunctional due to alleged corruption. The idea of a Chapter 9 institution seems to be the most obvious solution. None of these institutions answer the executive branch. The reporting line would be directly to the relevant parliamentary committee. He urged the committee to consider 2 private members' bills introduced by Democratic Alliance MP Glynis Breitenbach. Hawks are not up to the task of dealing with corruption in South Africa. The idea of a Chapter 9 institution seems to be the most obvious solution. None of these institutions answer directly to the executive branch. The reporting line would be directly to the relevant parliamentary committee. Well, the problem is that, of course, the Scorpions were effective, and they uncovered ANC fraud. So they had to be removed, and they were. And there you go. The person behind the notorious Gulum V Twitter account has been found dead in a Santon hotel. Notorious information peddler Ghulam Mohammed Suleiman Vadwa, who operated the X under the handle Ghulam V, has been found dead in the Johannesburg hotel. Sources' close investigation revealed to the Star that he was served court papers earlier this week relating to serious charges including fraud, cyberbullying, hate speech, and publishing defamatory content targeting politicians, media personalities, and others. I see. They just pulled out the red carpet for him. Threw everything they could at him to silence him. Unmasked in 2024 by the toilet paper record, Vadwa had a controversial history, repeatedly shifting his political loyalties. He was accused of not only being a entrepreneur, but also political influence associated with high-ranking ANC officials who had ties to the party secretaries General Fikile Mabulula. His involvement in South Africa's political theater was both deep and shadowy, as he was known for using the infamously deceptive Ghulam V account to manipulate narratives and public sentiment. The account, which has attracted the ire of many, was described as a sock puppet employed strategically to sway support from former President Zuma to Cyril Ramaphosa and later to the Democratic Alliance, the ANC's government national unity. Analysts suggest that Vodwa had access to sensitive government information, including details regarding ministerial appointments. But those who accuse Vodwa could never figure out who exactly he supported. He's been found dead in a hotel. Interesting. China and India cannot be allowed to dominate South Africa's auto sector. Well, look at this. Waking up rather late to the game, NUMSA's Irvin Jim warns members of parliament, calls for stricter regulations of foreign auto investments, demands local sectors benefits. Wow, the National Union of Metal Workers, General Secretary Irvin Jim shredded South Africa's progress in efforts to save the country's ailing automotive industry, saying the sector has been overly accommodating to outside investors at its own expense, but not to Americans. They've shut us out of the marketplace. There's been a hot potato about Chinese automobile manufacturer Chery. We are going to be consulted. We have not been consulted. The question is, what are we going to benefit from this investment? We applaud any investment, but we are keen to understand whether Chery will be taking on board any of Nissan's suppliers. We are not against BRICS, we're not against China, but if China is going to invest here, it must do a proper investment we can benefit from. Well, they're not. South Africa has undergone rapid deindustrialization with the manufacturing decline from a peak of 24% 3 decades ago under the National Party to just 12% today. It will take unprecedented political commitment, vibrant industry policy that responds to current challenges, and single-minded determination among all stakeholders to turn this dire situation around. In 2008, about 14% of workers were employed in the manufacturing sector. By 2017, this was 11%. He said in the face of Donald Trump and his unilateral tariffs, no such thing, the government must take stock of the value of trade that benefits South Africans and take measures to protect the country's automotive sector from all exporters who threaten the local market, like the U.S. is trying to do to protect its market against unfair predatory practices by South Africa and by China and others. Yeah, well, it's about time that somebody woke up to the fact that you've sold yourself down the river to the Chinese. That's the ANC. ANC. South Africa's economic recovery gains momentum. Cyril Ramaphosa. Loyola Mkhitaryan actually says this with a straight face in his article. He says that the economy has shown resilience with growth of 0.5% in the third quarter. Inflation in South Africa is currently growing at 3.6%. So that's a fraction of inflation. So you're growing this much, less than 1%, while inflation is soaring at 3.6%, which means people are becoming poorer and your income is worth less because you pay more. So the economy is not growing. It's contracting in real terms. Yes, fiction. Germany will pay more blackmail to the ANC so that they don't burn coal. But of course, the ANC will continue to burn coal. Otherwise, there'll be no power. The so-called just energy transition blackmail. Rainer Backe, Germany's special envoy for the program of giving money away to South Africa while Germans pay the world's highest electricity rates, makes no sense whatsoever. Lots of mamparas out there, including the Germans. Well, Home Affairs employee has been sentenced for faking deaths in order to scam $334,000 in insurance payouts. A 46-year-old Northern Cape woman has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for defrauding insurance companies by faking deaths and claiming over $334,000 in payouts. Dawn Celeste Peterson was sentenced by the Calvina Specialized Commercial Crime Court after being found guilty of all 9 counts of fraud, as well as 2 counts of contravening the Birth and Death Registration Act. As part of her duties, she had access to the National Population Register. Peterson took out funeral cover policies from reputable insurance companies and nominated herself as a beneficiary. She manipulated the registry by falsely issuing BL 1663 forms to record the fictitious deaths of the victims. They paid out 334,634 rand because of her fraudulent claims. Well, March leader Jacinta Nkubisi Zuma will hand herself over to the police. The March and March movement says its leader and founder Jacinta Nkubisi Zuma is facing imminent arrest after South African police reported decided to criminally charge her for inciting public violence against illegal immigrants. We note the attitude of the state towards the South African citizens who are merely fighting for the rights of disenfranchised and downtrodden people. Not true. You are vigilantes. She intends to present herself to police on Tuesday morning, so she should be in custody now. Our leader, as a law-abiding citizen, will hand herself over to the police at the station in order to be formally charged and appear in court. The charges follow a series of protests led by March and March outside Addington Primary School in Durban. Demonstrations with heavy police presence sparked widespread public debate. We've come to the conclusion that it's indeed easy to arrest and abuse voters and taxpayers while foreign nationals who are here illegally continue to sell drugs and illicit goods unabated. Yeah, because school children are the primary source of those drugs. So you're going to harass school children. Sure. Yeah, make up stories to cover your abusive, xenophobic behavior. Well, South Sudan's government says the rebel advance poses a serious threat to peace. UN warns of rising ethnic tensions in South Sudan conflict. Security Operation Northern Jonglei State is a lawful and necessary measure aimed at halting the advance of rebel forces, restoring public order, and safeguarding civilians, says Information Minister Atene Wek Atene. Well, I don't know if that's true. We'll see. Africa's debt payments to China are larger than new loans from the Chinese. But the Chinese are our saviors. All hail the Chinese. The Chinese are saving Africa. They do everything so wonderful for us. Our fellow travelers, our fellow people of color, they're here to help us. They're so wonderful. China, China, China. No. Self-interested communists taking care of themselves and give a crap about South Africans or any people of color. If you go to China, they're among the most racist and vile people you ever find. Yep. Decline in bilateral finance flows adds pressure to African economies. China's role as leading financier to developing nations has shifted over the past decade, with new loans to poor countries falling sharply while debt repayments continue to rise. Yes, the kind Chinese, taking swaths of Africa's economy, its agriculture, its mining. Yep. Multilateral lenders increased net financing by 124% over the past decade and now provide 56% of net inflows, equivalent to $379 billion between 2020 and 2024. The fact there's less lending coming in, but that previous lending from China still needs to be serviced, and that's the source of the outflows. Yep. The most recent period which data is available, Africa saw the largest impact, an inflow of $30 billion, turning to an outflow of $22 billion. Data does not include cuts that took effect in 2025. The net trend is negative for African nations. But China's our friend. China's our friend. Yes, easy money, not. The Chinese regime is pushing loyalty after major military shakeups. Wouldn't want to be in the Chinese military today. The downfall of the top People's Liberation Army commander suggests a high-level political struggle over control of the military as Xi Jinping moves to eliminate uncertainty or threats, which is it? Michael Shuang shares the story at Epoch Times. Following the removal of two of China's most senior military officials, the Chinese Communist Party appears to be accelerating a broader effort to reshape the People's Liberation Army top command, one that goes beyond corruption and focuses on political loyalty and control of the armed forces. Indeed. Yes, Garrett, I'm aware that foot and mouth is super bad, and John Steenhuisen apparently isn't aware. India and the EU have clinched a big trade deal. Modi, a big win for him. Leaders agree on circular pathways for Indian workers, students, research, and seasonal workers in shortage occupations to come to Europe. So the European Union has allowed European countries to be flooded by Indians. Wow, that's so good for Europe. Not. India and the European Union have reached a free trade agreement aimed at deepening economic and strategic ties. The agreement will bring major opportunities for the people of India and Europe. What opportunities for the people of Europe? What are you getting from India? Curry, Mahindra, and unwanted workers? The EU-India free trade agreement will link more than 2 billion people across the market, representing like a quarter of global economic output. It follows a decade of negotiations. Europe and India are making history that we've concluded the mother of all deals. Oh, stealing that from Trump. The agreement is expected to take effect early next year. Duties on cars, currently 110%, will be lowered over time to as little as 10%, according to the EC. Tariffs on car parts will be fully implemented after a transition period of 5 to 10 years. So Europe will become less competitive. Dairy items such as milk and cheese along with cereals were left out of the deal, with Indian officials citing domestic sensitivities. So what do the Europeans get? Oh, they get reduced tariffs on their wine. Please. Oh my goodness. So India is buying Russian oil and the Europeans are supporting the war. Why? They're going to trade with India so that India can buy Russian oil so Russia can continue to kill Ukrainians so the Europeans can continue to sell weapons to the Ukrainians. You see how it all links together? India and the EU. So the European Union will now be flooded with Indian workers who will replace Europeans because Indian workers make $4,000 to $5,000 and Europeans make $47,000. So they'll be cheaper. They'll come there. They'll work for nothing as slave labor, essentially. They'll undermine and displace Brits, Danes, Dutch, French, Germans from the workplace, pushing them on the dole, taking up housing, demanding social services, populating their country with Indians. And what does the EU get? Reduced tariffs on wine. Wow. Master negotiators. Master negotiators, these Europeans. It's no wonder that my ancestors fled from this continent of idiotic, retarded monarchies, fascists, and losers. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, NATO Secretary General, who's a big fan of Donald Trump, Mark Rutte, former Prime Minister of the Netherlands, says Europe can't defend itself without the U.S., and he's correct. He dismissed the notion of a separate European army and continued to praise Donald Trump for encouraging NATO members to increase defense spending. And he's correct. The Europeans have tried this. The Franco-German Corps, it's a joke. The EU deployment to the Congo, a joke. The EU cannot do anything. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte told European Union parliamentarians on January 26 they cannot defend Europe without the help of the United States. If anyone thinks here, again, that the European Union or Europe as a whole can defend itself without the U.S., keep on dreaming. You can't, we can't. Rutte also said the United States and Europe need each other. The U.S. needs NATO, not as much as you need us. He cautioned against the notion of a European army, saying it could lead to duplication and suggested countries would need to find additional soldiers to outfit such a force on top of recruiting for their own national militaries. For Europe, if you really want to go alone, and those of you who are pleading for that, forget that you can never get there with 5%. It will be 10%. You have to build up your own nuclear capability. That costs billions and billions of euros. You'll lose that in that scenario. You'll lose the ultimate guarantee of our freedom, which is U.S. nuclear umbrella. So, hey, good luck. I love his bluntness. I love Mark Rutte's bluntness. Brilliant. Well said. Well, Minneapolis, a judge has ordered the ICE chief to appear in court over immigration crackdown. The chief federal judge in Minnesota ordered the head of the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement to appear in court on Friday to explain why he should not be held in contempt for violating court orders. What court orders? The top federal judge in Minnesota has summoned the head of U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement to personally explain this week why he should not be held in contempt. The order by Judge Patrick Schlitz, which he acknowledged was an extraordinary step, adds to the administration's legal fights while it faces public and political pressure. Trump shook up the leadership of Minnesota enforcement operation Monday by planning to pull its director on the ground, Gregory Bovino, out. That came 2 days after the outrage over the shooting of Alex Preddy. The judge issued the order late Monday, summons ICE acting director Todd Lyons to appear before him on Friday and explain why he should not be held in contempt for violating court orders arising from Trump's crackdown. Of course, patience is an end. But the judge did give Mr. Lyons an out. He said he would cancel the hearing if ICE quickly released an immigrant whom he had been wrongly detained by agents. Well, we're not going to release criminal alien invaders. No. Illegal aliens are subject to detention, Judge. You're a rogue justice, and you don't get to dictate how the constitutional law works. Piss off. Piss off. Well, the New York Times is going to great lengths to portray America in a bad light because they're evil, angry, leftist, America-hating, majority-hating, Christian-hating scumbags, the New York Slimes. So debt in the United States has been at record levels in every president since Ronald Reagan, since Carter, since Nixon. The last time we had a federal surplus was under Nixon, not under Clinton. That's a lie. It's fiction. It's a counting trick. We had no surplus. We stole $179 billion of Social Security surplus money to put into the budget to claim that we had a balanced budget and a surplus. It's pure fiction. The last actual genuine federal budget surplus was in 1970 under Richard Nixon at the height of the bombing and Operation Linebacker bombing Laos. Yeah, that's when we had a budget surplus, 1970, nearly 60 years ago. So, 55 years ago. Now the New York Times is running a story despite the deficit being over $30 trillion under Joe Biden. Now suddenly the deficit is the problem. Despite the economy growing at 5%, unemployment at 4.1%, and the country doing quite well economically, record debt in the world's richest nations threatens global growth. The cost of borrowing is already choking crucial public spending in many developing economies. Well, public spending should be small, so it should be choked. For decades, crushing debt has spread misery in the world's poor and lower income nations, but the menace of unsupportable borrowing that now hangs over the global economy emanates from some of the richest nations. Record or near record debt in the U.S., Britain, France, Italy, and Japan threatens to hamstring growth and sow financial instability around the globe. At home, it means countries must make interest payments with money that otherwise could have paid for healthcare, roads, public housing, technological advance, or education. The only thing there that should be paid for is roads and technological advances, maybe education. Public housing, healthcare, that's not the role of government. That is not the role of government. That's socialist. That is socialist. No, they're just trying to paint the world in a bad light. Well, Century Aluminum will construct the first aluminum plant in the United States in more than 4 decades. It will create 5,000 direct and construction jobs. Illinois-based Century Aluminum Company has entered into a joint development agreement with Emirates Global Aluminum to construct the first new primary aluminum production plant in the United States since 1980. Involves smelting alumina to produce new aluminum metal. This differs from secondary production in which existing aluminum is recycled. The new plant, to be built in Oklahoma, as previously announced, is expected to produce 750,000 tons of aluminum per year, larger than previously envisioned, more than doubling current U.S. production. The plant will create 1,000 permanent jobs and 4,000 jobs during construction. 85% of the aluminum needs of American industries are currently met by imports. Why the hell are we importing aluminum? How did this happen? How did this happen? That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So a plant under Trump is coming back. Industry is coming back to America by forcing these people to pay up. It's about time. 750,000 tons. Doubling U.S. production. Well, the New York Times fabricates concepts that none of us ever heard of to fabricate white supremacist messaging from the White House. A flurry of posts from White House, Department of Labor, and Department of Homeland Security have included images, slogans, and even a song used by white nationalist right. No idea what they're talking about. Evan Gorelick says the posts have referred to neo-Nazi literature, ethnic cleansing, and QAnon conspiracies mused about deporting nearly a third of the U.S. population, and promoted lyrics from an anthem bellowed by the far-right militants of the Proud Boys. No idea what they were talking about. We'll have our home again. That's far-right? How is that far-right? There are 2 types of people whom these messages will quickly look familiar. White supremacists and those who study white supremacists. Yeah, well, I never heard any of this stuff. You're just making this shit up. Just making it up. Which way, Greenland man? How is that white supremacist? What is that? I see totalitarian fascist regimes on the right and the U.S. on the left. What is wrong with that? A 1978 book, Which Way, Western Man? White supremacist groups treat as foundational. Who the hell ever heard of that book? Who the hell ever heard of that book? Light Rain says, Washington State has a 3-year-old shuttered aluminum plant with power supply from clean hydro, ready to go, but no one would build a business in a communist state. Yep. Well, NASA is finally ready to launch the Artemis mission. Yes. And its primary goal is to put people of color on the moon and women. Vaginas on the moon. It's a new song. You've heard about the vagina monologues? Vaginas on the moon. That's what it's all about. That's what NASA's primary mission is. It's raison d'etre. Its reason for existing is not for space exploration for peaceful purposes or national defense. It's not to discover new technologies and things to save the world. It's not to find asteroids to mine for minerals. The true reason for NASA to exist is to put vaginas on the moon. Yes. That's what they've been saying all along. That's the whole purpose behind the Artemis mission. NASA is set to launch the first manned moon rocket in 50 years. 10 days, 4 astronauts, 700,000 pounds of liquid oxygen, everything to know about the Artemis 2 mission. Hundreds of men and women who had a hand in assembling a rocket braved the winter cold on January 17th to watch the ship roll out to the vehicle assembly building and move to the launch complex. 10-day voyage around the moon and further from Earth than any astronauts have ever gone. But it's all about launching people of color and women into space. Yep, that's their main focus. People of color and women, vaginas on the moon. Could launch as early as February 6th or as late as April 6th. 6-day launch windows. I notice how NASA is no longer promoting the vaginas on the moon monologue, which is what was being said before. Now they're talking about space exploration, but under Joe Biden, it kept talking about vaginas on the moon. This will be the first crewed flight since the Apollo missions. Wow. And we'll cover that here. They will travel further from Earth than any astronaut's ever gone before. It'll take 3 days to get back to Earth once they've got to the moon. And there's your crew. NASA astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. I don't know why they call it manned flight. These people do nothing. It's all done by computer. John Steenheisen says, I want to caution against alleged impending court case that can derail procurement of vaccines, all in the name of membership recruitment and requests for legal contributions. Farmers will suffer. Don't be fooled. Let's see what he says. Mr. Steenheisen urges unity as legal challenges threaten to derail foot and mouth disease vaccination rollout. Departments observe various social media, WhatsApp, and SMS campaigns from groups advertising legal action against the state, soliciting donations for impending court case, and using the war on foot and mouth disease to drive membership. A letter received from SAAI, Sakalika, and the Free State Agriculture demanding owners of livestock be allowed to privately administer vaccines, which is threatening their legal action. So this is an attack on Teodiagar, Sai, Sakalika, and the Free State Agriculture. Anybody's free to approach courts anytime. This legal venture is most unfortunate as it seeks to attack the act under which the state is about to procure vaccines. About to procure vaccines. Wow. The state is about to procure vaccines. Where were these vaccines for the past 15 months, Minister Steenheisen? Where was the Department of Agriculture for the past 15 months? This has been known since December of 2024. 15 months ago. So now you're trying to tell the public to worry about this. What kind of corruption is going on at the Department of Agriculture in South Africa? Or is it just incompetence? Which is it, folks? Corruption or incompetence? You tell me. 37 trillion in debt is a lot of moolah. That's correct. And GDP is at 34 trillion, so we're just below that. Both, says Ingrid. Corruption and incompetence. Have any of you seen how those animals suffer? Patriot? Yes, I have. I've seen foot and mouth. It's horrible. It's debilitating. It's terrible. Yep. Loretta says definitely both. Incompetence, says Joe. Just do your job, says James. Sorry, but we have a beautiful country. Sorry, I rephrased. We had a beautiful country. Sightseeing. It's at your own risk. It is, Elvira. It's definitely at your own risk. Wait for them on the moon. Greet them with a cold beer. Yeah, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? Further than Katy Perry. Yeah, good. Not nice to talk about women as vaginas. Would you like a woman talking about putting penises on the moon? Sure. But how do you put penises on the moon? How do you do that, Adele? How do you put penises on the moon? Why not land on the moon, take samples? The next flight will land on the moon. And that's the one where they want to put women and people of color. They said it. NASA's mission is to put women and people of color on the moon. Why? Why? Why can't we just put astronauts on the moon? Who cares what they look like? I don't. But I do care about people promoting garbage narratives that are misandric and racist. Well, Corey, you make a good point. There are lots of astronauts in space, including a lunatic who lost her mind and drove all the way across the country wearing diapers to try to murder her partner. Remember that? The NASA astronaut who drove across the country from Texas to Florida or something like that, or vice versa, wearing diapers so she wouldn't have to stop, so she could murder her partner. Remember that? That was somebody that we put in space. Can we not send the libs? Yeah, it'd be nice to send them to Mars, actually. Are they mining bauxite? Mark Myberg? We don't have much bauxite in America. A lot of it comes from Guinea. Lots of bauxite comes from Guinea. How much bauxite do we have in America? I don't even know. I don't think it's very much at all. Maybe I'm wrong. U.S. bauxite reserves. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a whole lot. 128,000 metric tons. Let's take a look at the world. Maybe it's more than I thought. I thought it wasn't that high. I could be wrong. I know we produce aluminum. Well, actually, we have a fair amount. I didn't realize we had that much. Okay. Bauxite map. Okay. Huh. And we have karstic and laterite. So we have both types. Russia, India, the U.S. are the only countries in the world that have both types of bauxite. I didn't realize that. Interesting. The United States holds a very small, limited domestic bauxite reserves. Okay, that's what I thought. Estimates of 20,000 tons. Currently 100% dependent on imports for its alumina and aluminum needs. Historically located in Arkansas, Alabama, and Georgia, main deposits are minor, not economically viable for large-scale mining. So we have negligible result. 2021, the U.S. relied on imports primarily from Jamaica, 62%, Brazil, 13%, Guyana, 8%, and Australia for 6%. Domestic mining is practically non-existent, with the last major domestic refining processing imported bauxite. So there you go. So I was correct. We don't have much bauxite. No, we get it from abroad. State vet says there's no vaccine for us, not expected this time. Wow, but people trying to get their own vaccine is a problem. Bauxite is not relevant. Why is bauxite not relevant? Aluminum is critically important to aircraft manufacturing, automobiles, to the beverage industry, the entire world. Well, there's your news for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Stick with us. In space, you can't hear him. Can't hear who? The question. Yeah, no, bauxite is not mined in the U.S. It's mined, as I said, in those places, but there is production of alumina. Yep. A lot of aluminum U.S. is from recycling. Good evening, Colonel Wyatt fan. Good evening, Mari. How are you? Oh, you won't hear Malayman in space. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be very nice? Little news update, production update. This morning I did an interview with Celia Brink, the former mayor of Schwana, the current DA caucus leader for the council in Schwana, about the Edwin Sodi affair and blacklisting him and his company. That interview will appear on the Truth Report as soon as they finish editing it. Let's see if they've finished editing it now. I doubt think they have, but I'm not sure the production schedule. So let's take a look. Corey says, thanks for the news. You're very welcome, Corey. Thank you so much for the super chat, making the clouds gather. You're welcome, Krista. My throat has been something wrong with it today. I'm not sure what the deal is. So let's take a look at this. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. When should I go live? You have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can go live there, Minri.
Good morning. Good evening.
She's talking about going live. But she can't go live to you. Does she have 1,000 viewers now? No, you can't go live. You got to have 1,000 subscribers. We got over 200 more, but you got to have over 1,000 subscribers in order to go live. And 4,000 hours of content. Or is that, 1,000 subscribers to go live, yeah. You're welcome, Eudora. What do you make from aluminum? Oh, Garrett. You're asking Garrett that. You're welcome, Max. Right. Where was I going with this? Bauxite. Skip something here. Content. Oh, that's what I want to see. You're very welcome, Jean Jacobs. I'm glad it was informative. Hopefully insightful, too. Okay. 4,000 people watched my video about the ANC. What did you think of the image? Did you guys like the image? The ANC on a crusade. Anti-imperialism or right-wing imperialism. Ha, 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 ha. ANC, onward ANC socialist warriors marching along. CIA up there on top of the castle parapets. Oh, that was fun to make that image. Sue Marie is saying there's no such thing as foot and mouth disease virus? Or am I misunderstanding your point? Mel Marie liked it. Hey, breaking rate of science here. Went for medical study and can confirm 50 cases in one day. Cool. Yep, she needs 45 more subscribers to her channel. There's a link to Minri so she can go live. Okay, Loretta, welcome to you. ANC Delusions, still living in 1960. Yep. Well, you can watch it after this, Legal Alien. Yeah. Is it true that deep undercover CIA is not allowed to get married? I have no idea. I don't work for the CIA. I have no idea. No idea. I can tell you that that if people go into programs that are clandestine, there is definitely an issue there. It doesn't mean you can't get married, though. Leon is 41 today. Wow, happy birthday, old man. Happy birthday. Look at that. You're feeling old because you're 41? I would have thought you felt old at 40. Happy birthday to you. Boy, we have big audiences now, so we have birthday cakes all the time. There's a cake for Leon. Good evening, Dime Humpel. How's it going? They get issued wives. Is that how it works, Mark? Okay. Are they hotties? Are they hotties? They're going to land on the sun. Yeah, no. He's a pretty smart guy, isn't he? He's a pretty smart guy. Thank you for sharing that, Cyberhawk. I don't understand what they told Sue Marie about her dissertation. Oh, most of the auction sites are under quarantine. Pergu, 77 Americans feel financially insecure and feel they do not earn enough to live comfortably. Yeah, I would say that that's not unusual, but that's even in the best of times. That's Americans say that. They always feel that. People always want more money. They always want more things. So, yeah. Oh, okay, Trumpet Connor, it's your birthday too. That's for you then. Just put the cake back up. Yeah, no, that's not uncommon for people to say that. I'm financially secure. I'm financially secure, but I'm not happy with what I have. I'd like to have a lot more. A lot more. A lot more. So the video I did last night, let's see how many people. A lot of comments on it. 4,300 views. Not a lot of views, but a lot of comments. And Francois says, Colonel, I watched the video and just wanted to say I respect how calmly and clearly you handle the noise. It takes real discipline to stay factual and professional when others lead with entitlement and anger. Your consistency and refusal to be dragged in the mud really shows. Thank you. And someone said, we appreciate it, Colonel. You've been so insightful and helpful. This is your show and your stream. You can interview and ask whoever you want, whatever you want. Exactly. If people don't like it, they can interview on their own channel. Exactly. Thank you, sir, for what you do, sir, and keep your head high as the majority of people love you. Well, thank you. And Robert says, we love you. Keep up the good work. Ignore them, Colonel. You have many supporters. Appreciate your podcast. Thanks, Chris. You've helped so many people. Personal problems remain personal. Attitude is a huge flaw. I've seen attitudes at government hospitals not only gets them nowhere, goes back, their file goes to the back of the queue. Yep. Thank you for your valuable content. It's insightful and helpful to me and my wife and daughters. My daughters also watch content, really enjoy dancing to the Wyatt Army song. Spartan God, I'll apologize for any profanity that I spew out occasionally as children watching it because I don't set it for kids, but you can interview whoever you want. It's, after all, your channel. Respect, Colonel. You really put your physical and mental health in line to help us South Africans. For that, you've become a hero and inspiration to so many thousands of South Africans. Every insult, every troll, every insidious comment proves that you're the best at what you do, sir. For that, I hope to meet you one day and shake your hand. Please keep up your amazing reporting. Salute. Well, Brendan, ZA. This is a digital handshake for you, brother. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. I was upset yesterday and commented on the video and was negative. I came to apologize for my behavior, Paul Duncan says. All right, Paul. Thank you for that. Why did you comment negatively? Would you mind sharing? And let's not all unload on Paul. Takes a big person to come and apologize. Thank you for your apology. I haven't seen your comment. What were you upset about? What were you upset at? Please, I'm curious, Paul. Please share. Because I do have empathy. I'm trying to figure this out. You're welcome, Frith Fritha. Please tell us, Paul. I'm curious. Don't let them get you, Colonel Chris. We know you're the best. My kids went to USN on the 15th of December. I'm a very proud mother. Well, good to hear. Colonel Chris, thank you for everything you do and standing for what's right. I'm truly sorry there's so many idiots who don't appreciate the hard work, courage, and dedication put in every day. Please know that there are many of us who see it, respect, and are grateful. Well, thank you. Thanks for your good work. Thank you for everything, your hard work and your sincerity. Keep on doing what you're doing. I like you and respect for everything you're present. You are present to me, even hush messages. Sorry to hear that there's some people like that. How sad. Yep. Put it behind you. Great work you're doing. Entitlement, not persecution, seems to hamper more people than one would have thought. Agreed. So sorry to deal with that. I still don't see your negative comment there. Yeah, sure. We were in the same interview process, sir, and we're still here. Just difficult to not gone across the stage yet. No, I got you, Paul. I got you. But what about my friend that submitted an email on the 10th of February? Did the statement of interest. Went to Pretoria at his own expense. Was interviewed. Was not included in the pilot project. And doesn't have a case number to this day. Between the mix-up between what happened with RSC, Amerikaners, USCIS. Doesn't even have a case. Can't confirm there's a case or not. I mean, if anybody has a reason to complain, it would be that person. That person has a real play, and he's not the only one. There are others. I appreciate where you're coming from, Paul. But complaining. Oh, you meant you comment in the chat. Okay, gotcha, Paul. I thought you comment on the video. I was looking for negative comments over here. Pillar of hope for thousands. Well, that's very kind of you. There's no excuse for this vicious person's vile comments. Please don't take a rotten apple standard for all good, God-fearing South Africans. I don't. It's a small minority of people. But the thing is that I'm clearly over the target. Clearly over the target. We got people going to Facebook groups and spreading lies about me, lying about who I am, lying about my content, and trying to discourage people from watching my program. And it seems to work sometimes. So that's happening. We've got trolls who come in the chat and spew their racial hatred, both pro-black and pro-white racial hatred. We've got people who seek to create arguments in the chat, clearly over the target. And media outlets in South Africa continually cover up stories. No one in the mainstream media has reported on the Stolze family yet. Not a single person. Not a single media outlet. That interview is well over a month old now. South Africa's media is well aware that the program is not for Afrikaners. It's not for farmers. Yet they continue to claim that. And they continue to use quotation marks when they use the term refugee. Why? Because they're not media. They're propagandists. They're agents of the state in many respects. Whether they do it because they get paid for it or because they're fellow travelers, but they're agents of the state in effect. They spread ANC propaganda like fairy dust. That's why. The weather is quite cold. As far as I know, the flight's going to be fine, Krista. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to Texas. If I spend a few days in Texas and there's nobody there, I mean, I've already spent $1,200. What am I supposed to do? Swallow the loss? If the flight's going, I'm going. And on the fly, I'll figure something out. I'll find a place. If I have to rent a venue, then I'll rent a venue. And we'll change it to Sunday. I mean, if I have to pay more money, then I'll do it. I promise people I'm going to Texas. And unless the weather stops me, I'm going to Texas. Yep, so there you go. We were just emotional. We did everything with 5 kids. You're generally sorry for being negative. Paul, that's enough. You don't have to prostrate yourself. Your apology is accepted. Appreciate it. I don't recall what you said. I vaguely recall maybe removing your comment. But yeah, thank you for that. People get emotional. But I mean, there's no reason for people to say such nasty things. I mean, let me read what some of what was said to me. Why people do that, I just, beyond me. Where's it at? Your integrity is in question as an honest and free for all that are persecuted person. This is wrong. I've lost all respect for you. Shame on you. I thought you had an honest head, an intelligent head on your shoulders, disappointing you. That's what I received from a person. Person I never knew, never contacted. A person that's used aliases in their WhatsApp and then tells me their name is something different in the chat. What is that? What is the purpose of that? Yep. So, oh, Paul, that's why I made the video. That's why I made the video I'm just talking about there about irrational insults. Because but that's not the only one. I get these frequently from people. I also get questioning my character. How is my character in question by interviewing people? That's not a question of character or integrity. Mad Max says lots of people completed in September, October now see someone that had their first interview 17 already stateside, making them anxious and stressed. That's why people get emotional. Well, I appreciate them getting emotional, but that's no reason to be abusive towards me. I don't run the program. Why are people abusive towards me? And why are they being so nasty towards people that are already over here? That's shameful. You should feel grateful for it. You should feel good for the people that got over here. It's unfathomable the behavior of some people, but I mean it's the reality. I don't run the program. I don't work for the U.S. government. I don't get compensated for this. That's the funny thing. On the liars, oh, he makes money off refugees. What money making off refugees? Take the money out of my pocket and give it to refugees. I have. I've also ensured that people aren't starving in South Africa whose flights were canceled. I've also found accommodations through the good graces of people in the Wyatt Army to help some people a place to stay while they waited. And I've also, based on people having gotten over here, clearly been able at some point to reach the correct officials to get the right word that some cases need to be looked at through my continuous efforts. And I've traveled the length and breadth of South Africa to talk about this program with people last year. I've traveled to Alabama, to Idaho, to Rochester to help refugees, to find out what's going on, to see what's happening in their lives, to tell their stories. And this is what I get for a reward. My integrity being questioned. This is why I never started an NGO. Remember last year, those who were here at the beginning? Colonel Wyatt, why don't you start an NGO to help people? Why don't you start a program to do like the Amerikaners? I said, no, because then I'll be falsely accused of all kinds of things. The best I can do is direct people to the resources. Thank you, Paul. It's kind of you. Your integrity and character should be questioned. We generally appreciate everything you do. Andreas Muller, I'm well aware of that. I know who the family is, and I know the family, and I'm aware that they're arriving. Yep, they, along with a bunch of other folks. Sonneblum, you're going to rephrase. I didn't see what you said previously. May I send you an email regarding a crisis my daughter's having? I know you're very busy. Yeah, please send it, Sonneblum. Please give your thoughts on the current state of possible shutdown and facts. Well, I thought a week ago that the shutdown was unlikely because most of the bills have been passed and the president was going to sign them. But apparently the Homeland Security bill is being held up because of the Democrats and their concern over what happened in... where the heck did that go? Hang on. Oh, there it is. Over what happened in Minneapolis. So the Democrats are trying to play hardball with the government. They're trying to shut down ICE, which is simply following the law that Congress passed. So I don't know. There won't be a government shutdown as such. But Homeland Security plays a role in the placement of South Africans in America. Refugees, their placement in the U.S., Homeland Security plays a role in that. So if they don't get fully funded, I don't know what happens. I can't even begin to predict because I don't know the funding lines that are being used. I don't know how they're paying for this program right now. And I don't know what happens if Homeland Security doesn't get paid. Some Homeland Security people will still work. They can't shut down. People that are part of Homeland Security have to do services that are required. So I'm not sure. I don't think that includes refugees. Yep. So I don't know what to say about that. Other than it seems more likely some sort of limited government shutdown is coming now. 60-year-old man was murdered on small holding Tuesday. I didn't hear about that, East Coast Ostrich. Don't see any actual farmers going through the program. Well, Charles Kleinhaus, isn't he a farmer? And there are actual farmers who have gone through the program. I just haven't interviewed many of them. And there are people who've taken up farming. A couple in Iowa that I interviewed last year, they moved to Kentucky to be poultry farmers, to manage a poultry farm. I also know farmers that have settled in other cities, which I'm not disclosing. I know they're actual farmers. They wound up in metropolitan areas, again, to their surprise. Lynn, I'd be happy to meet you as well. Yes, there seems to be a forgotten section around September, October period complete all on getting crickets. Yes, Chris Wyatt, and I've asked for those people to reach out to me, but I haven't heard from anybody in a month that I can recall. I might be mistaken. Maybe I'm negligent, but I haven't heard of anybody in a month. You've sent me some names of people, but people complain and don't provide information. So, yep, I'm also inundated. So, hypocrites often offend the most because of the inferiority complex. Well, Jawless Farms is a farmer. Okay. Refugees fund the State Department, HHS, Homeland is responsible for your Social Security and travel documents. It's not entirely accurate. One of the farmers from our farm is already there in USA. She arrived 2 weeks ago. There you go. See, almost no one will agree with me, but Trump is always right. And if he wants to end a filibuster, maybe they should. Ingrid says, people, they badmouth you, lie about you, belittle your excellent job you do well, and everything you put your mind to are bitter, insecure failures in life. Yeah, and they're right on my coattails. I would agree with that. Ermine, Kirsten says, thank you so much for your time, effort, and everything you've been doing for our people. Just know it's much appreciated by many. Tireless dedication to helping refugees. In the future, you will be seen as a type of Oscar Schindler for South Africans. Yes. Or, what's her name there? I'm drawing a blank. The Savior. Emily Hobhouse. Mad Max got 35 rand. I got to find that. Candace says, okay, Colonel, to date, you've only brought us the truth. This, for us, all opinions are valid to hold, but not opinions are equal. Okay. From the Meadow says Farmer 2. So I'm guessing that people keep saying Farmer 2, you must be refugees that are in America already. I haven't had you on my program. Hope flights don't get canceled again. We're just waiting for flights. Well, there's been a problem with the cancellations. We had some people's flights were canceled because their medicals were about to expire, but then they were rescheduled for sooner flights. So others have been canceled. We don't know what the deal with that is. Trying to find that out now. Yep. Many in the queue. Oh, there's thousands in the queue, folks. There are thousands in the queue. That I can guarantee. Francois says, Colonel's true. You won't be forgotten ever. Well, make a statue to me. Good day, Colonel Chris. Short question. We are approved and waiting for tickets. We've been gifted a number of dollars. I'm concerned about what amount will influence our benefits. Nothing will influence your benefits, Hannes. I don't know what you mean by that. Hannes and Nicole Olafia. What do you mean? I don't understand. You need to write me a private email. I don't want to really get into your personal finances here, but it doesn't affect your benefits. It doesn't matter if you come here as a billionaire, you come here penniless. You get refugee cash assistance. You get a case officer. They arrive. They pick you up at the airport. They take you to where you're going. They have to help you with your Social Security application, with your EAD processing, with your I-94. They have to provide initial resources like food and temporary accommodation and help you find a house. You get that whether you're rich or poor. So that doesn't affect anything. You no longer get food stamps, so that isn't an issue anymore. Food stamps are out, although I understand some are still getting it. But you don't get food stamps anymore, so that's out. So I don't understand what it would affect. Write me privately. Loretta just sent it to me and then remind me if I haven't got to it. My feelings aren't hurt if you remind me if I've neglected someone. That's okay. It's not intentional neglect. It's just too much. It's just too much. Sven, RSC is not responding to emails, so I wouldn't get too excited about them. Good day, all from Cape Town, says Amanda De Beer. How are you doing, Amanda? Welcome. The funding, he is not going to get the Democrats fall apart. I agree with you, Alan. I think they're going to get it passed, but there is a possibility they're making noise. And the reason is Democrats took a big hit when they delayed the government in October. They're the ones that paid the price, not Trump. Trump's ratings did not decline because the government shut down. The Democrats did. A quick count about 12. I have no idea what 7's talking about. Am I going to build a snowman? No. Ronell says, we're farmers and there are a lot of us, but it doesn't matter. Good evening, Rudolph Skeppers. What's going on, man? Now, somebody asked a question that was related to refugee stuff during the news, and they can ask that question now. There are a lot in the queue. Oh, you said 12 in the queue? No, there's a lot more than 12. It's thousands. Oh, Marola Media just published it. Okay. M-A... I always spell that wrong. Marola Media. Die Politie onderzoekt een klachte van moord en huisroof naar het lichaam van een, I don't know, say 60-jarige man dinsdag in die vroege ochtenduren op een hoppe buiten Oemansdorp, Oskap. 60-year-old man killed Tuesday in Oemansdorp in the Eastern Cape. That's not much there. It's just a brief statement, so it doesn't tell me much more than that. I don't see plus anywhere on there. Just a 60-year-old murdered. Doesn't identify who it is. What have I missed? Chris says, what is integrity that sounds sandy? Debbie says, Bormak and plan, I'm sure Lily or other Afrikaners will help with the venue. Well, I'm still going, even though I've lost the venue, apparently. But we'll see if it comes back. I sent you 3 emails ago. Why haven't you answered email? Well, that's because it's you, Matthew. I don't answer your emails. Major League Rugby, I don't follow it anymore. I've become disillusioned with Major League Rugby. Anlu says, people only know what you do behind the scenes. Yeah, they don't. They don't care. They just like to look at this dead sexy visage and call me a white supremacist, you know. That's a Klan member. That's all they care about. Just lying about people. Yep. Hey, Adele, thank you. All right, I think I've caught up with the chat, except for, did you check the new way to get social by having EAD first yet? No, I didn't, Mad Max. I was clicking on links you sent me, so let me go find Mad Max here. No, I haven't had time, man. I'm really, really busy. Is this from last night? Okay. This one. Okay. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Generally need your fiscal EAD before you can apply for Social Security. That's as of January this year. Recently changed. The concurrent filing option has ended previously. You could check a box on your work permit application to automatically request Social Security. This option is no longer available or reliable for most work permit applications. The Social Security Administration paused a program that allowed this automatic processing called enumeration beyond entry. Even if you check the box in older versions, like your Social Security request will not be processed automatically. The new process, wait for your AD. You must wait until the process. Okay, I'm going to have to look this up. Okay. Let me just, I'm going to find a government source on this. Has the process for refugees changed to apply for a social URD number in January 2026? Yep, that's what they're saying. How have laws changed for asylum seekers? Not asking for asylum seekers. Asking for refugees. Here's a law firm. Pagan Lopez, new change. Your work permit no longer comes with a Social Security number. You no longer request Social Security number through USCIS. January 2026. Immigration status is not altered. Your right to work is not reduced. The government did not eliminate Social Security numbers for immigrants. You must contact Social Security Administration directly. You will present your EAD, your passport, and immigration paperwork. There you go. Most applicants are accustomed to receiving a Social Security number automatically. When that stopped happening, many assumed a lot of things. You can begin work with a valid EAD, but you must apply for Social Security number as soon as possible. Long Island, Pagan Lopez Law Firm. There you go, guys. So I found a reliable source for it. There you go. There you go. All right, well, sure enough. Thanks for that. Thanks. We learned that the hard way. Okay. Thanks, Max. Employment authorization document. So with a green card, which isn't green, it's just a ID card that says you're a permanent resident. I'm just using the Starbucks card, okay? Actually, let me use the one for this year because this is the year of the horse or some crap like that. Yeah, the year of the horse. So 2026, year of the horse. So with a green card, there it's green on the back. With a green card, that means you're a permanent resident. You're allowed to live and work in America indefinitely, as long as you follow our laws. So with a green card, all you have to do is present this, and it means you're authorized to work here as a foreign national. As an American citizen, you can work anywhere in America. But as a foreign national, you can only work legally with a permit. A green card, in effect, is identification saying you're a permanent lawful resident here and de facto can work here. A refugee is not a permanent resident, not until they receive a green card, which cannot be applied for until 12 months after their arrival and continuous 12 months in the United States. You can't leave. So the people who Dogzilla claims are going on holidays to Italy and going all these other places outside the country, they cannot apply for a green card until they stop taking vacations and stay here for 12 months consecutive. Otherwise, it's invalid. They will have committed fraud, and they can lose their refugee status and be deported later on. So, Dogzilla, please tell your friends that. Okay, so since refugees don't get a green card initially, and asylum seekers don't have a green card, you have to get an employment authorization document, which is issued by USCIS, United States Customs Immigration Services. They're the ones who issue you a EAD. An EAD is an employment authorization document. It allows you to legally work here. Now, technically, refugees are allowed to work from the day they arrive, but you have to have a Social Security number in order to pay taxes. Otherwise, your employer gets in trouble. And in the past, you could get your Social Security number beforehand, or you could get it scheduled, with EAD. You apply for it on the EAD. Now, apparently, as of January, you can't do that anymore. Now you have to get the EAD and then apply for a Social Security card. Does that make sense? Well, Son of Bloom, that's a lengthy email, and I'm out of ink in my printer, so I won't be able to print out right now. No one gives out my number. I don't need phone calls from people. Send me an email. If there's a need for me to talk to you on phone, then I'll do it. I'll contact you. You don't need my phone number. All right, so that's what an EAD is, an employment authorization document. So as an asylum seeker in America, a legal asylum seeker, or as a refugee living in America under our protection, you're authorized to work. The asylum seeker, not for 6 months. That helps prevent fraud. After 6 months, you can request it. But the refugee, instantly allowed to work. We want you to work. We want you to work. So it's complicated the process a little bit. Apparently now you have to get the Social Security number after you get the EAD. EADs are supposed to be done within 30 days. So I don't know what's going on with that. In 3 days, government will shut down. Unlikely, Holden. Unlikely. Okay. Yep. What expired, Mad Max? What of yours expired? A hip is okay, not great. Cold doesn't really affect it. Although my knuckle, this knuckle here gets painful in the cold. Although the cold the other day didn't affect this knuckle. It affected these two fingers. At the end of my hand were, they hurt so bad when I was plowing snow the other day. Marley says, everyone can have an opinion, but it doesn't make it true or right unless they have evidence. Yeah, everyone's welcome to opinion, but people aren't welcome to be abusive, that's for sure. Love a small car, just something that takes you from point A to B. Will I have a problem with the snow in wintertime? No, not if you learn how to drive on the snow. It just takes a little bit of practice, that's all. Small cars, if you live in a hilly area, that might be a problem, but most cities aren't hilly. Shylock, that's what I just said. But see, that gets complicated now by the fact that you don't have a Social Security number. Social Security number must be given to an employer so they can take taxes out of your pay. How are they going to take taxes out of your pay without a Social Security number? Unless they're going to let you work and then pull the money and hold it and then give it Social Security Administration after, I don't know, maybe a large employer can do that. I'm not going to do that. If we hire you to work the Veterans Organization to be a waiter or waitress or a bartender or a cook, we're not going to hold that money and get ourselves in trouble and then pay it, back pay it. That doesn't make sense. So, yes, you're saying it's stamped in your passport. That's what Minri said. It's stamped in her passport that she can work, which is interesting. I said the moment you arrive as a refugee, you're authorized to work. The EAD is just the paperwork that confirms it. That's all it is. However, now they're saying you have to go to get the EAD first before you get a Social Security number. You need a Social Security number in order to pay taxes. Westhouse, thank you for that super chat. Wow. Done with USCIS yesterday. Now the wait. Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck with that, Westhouse. Thank you so much. What about, we already said last night, I just addressed that babyface. Yep. Yeah, Mark Myberg. Everyone's entitled to opinion no matter how wrong you are. Nancy Pelosi just crashed in 60 million in stocks. Yeah, well, she's an evil bastard, so I'm not surprised. Not surprised. So we got 470 people here, and we got 385 likes. What's up with that? Your last two fingers are related to your back. A back injury? No, it's never happened before. Never happened before. Usually these fingers get cold. It was just the glove inserts I was wearing. It was cold out there. That's gout. I have no gout. I don't eat meat. How could I have gout? Gout is from eating too much beef. I don't eat beef. Guys, you're not my surgeon. You're not my doctor. All right. Thank you for the super chat. What about what? Yeah. So I just addressed that. Can I walk into office and tell them I need to book? No, you can't. You can't, Tom Walk. You can't walk into the office and book anything. You have to go where the U.S. government tells you when they tell you. Otherwise, it's not valid. Good Lord, Linsicki, what were you doing? Playing rugby, a hip replacement and knee replacement last year? How are you feeling about it? I'm refusing. How are you feeling about yours? You're the horse. So yeah, small car, you should be fine. All right, Son of Bloom. I'm going to go to my mail and check in on a few people. So let's see. Yeah, last night when someone questioned my integrity, it's the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. And what does that have to do with me interviewing people? It's just ridiculous. By the way, Trump increased tariffs on South Korea to 25% because they haven't followed through on the trade deal that he negotiated with them. Yep, sure did. Anyway, let me... What was I trying to do here now? Oh, the email. 700 Rand, thank you for that. Vicks doesn't help. That'll make things worse than the cold. My fingers were burning so badly when I came in. Then last night my feet were burning because I went out and salted at the Veterans Organization. So one of our members has a truck with a plow, and he came and plowed our lot at midnight. Nobody knew that. He told me about it. I saw him. Scott, very kind of Scott. Thank you for that. After Scott did that, one of my board members, who's 74, got the snowblower out and blew the snow away from the dumpsters so they can be collected and also away from the sidewalk. And then I went out and salted the sidewalk. So it was volunteers all on board. All on board. So there's a website that somebody sent me. Where's that thing at? Hang on a second. I can't find it here now. I'm trying to do something else. Doing too many things. I want to look at mail first. Let's do that before I forget. These people have been sending me mail. So, okay, gosh. What do I do? Okay, there you go. I got yours. All right, so, what I'm going to tell you very quickly here, Zona Bloom, is that without disclosing things, the email message that was received back is a pro forma one. It's an as if. It's just a standard reply. It's boilerplate. So pay no attention to it. They will correct the error and call that person in to get those taken care of at some point. There's nothing she can do about it. She's responded. Don't freak out. It's a stupid mistake on their part, but they make a lot of stupid mistakes. There you go. The creator's name was Gulam. He's dead, Karchin Rose. Did you just tune in? I talked about that earlier. He's dead. He's found dead in a hotel. Sent the email to go have it done, but no specific date. We found one in Springs. They were closed. The phone number. Do you think it's true that this may be shut down is allowed for 2 weeks? Are there any restrictions, time frame for shutdown? Beulah, most of the funding is passed, so most of the government won't shut down. Only part of the funding is not available, Homeland Security specifically. I don't know if any other ones, but they've passed multiple bills to pay for funding. The government's operating, even when it's been operating for some time now with bills. So part of the government isn't going to shut down on the bills already signed at the end of the shutdown. The rest of the government, much of it has just been approved. The president just has to sign it before the 30th, and then it continues. It's just a small portion of government. So people need to calm down, and let's see how it plays out. How do you not eat beef? I do eat beef, Jala, but not enough to get gout. How do I not eat beef? Because it's disgusting. It's horrible. I mean, it's poor quality. When I find good beef, like from Botswana, I'll eat it. Or Argentina, I eat it. But the stuff that we get is marbled and full of fat and gristle, and I can't eat that stuff. You left this hospital in your PJs. My goodness. Oh, to a friend in Kenya. Okay, gotcha. I thought you can get gout from beer and tomatoes. That's from beef. It's too much purine. Not received an email for yet. It was scheduled 16 January. Super confused. Yeah, I would be confused too, Tomahawk. Liesl sent me a super chat that I missed. I don't see any super chat here. I'll go find it. Thank you for that. I need to open up another window to do this, though. That's what I want. YouTube. Over here. Supers. Liesl. Okay. Sent you a pic on WhatsApp. Thank you for everything. Oh, Liesl. Okay. All right. I don't see anything from you, Liesl. It must have been from some time ago. Okay. I have... Oh. I have nothing from you there. Let me try it this way. Nope. Oh, I do. There it is. Okay. Ah, cool. Received a parcel. Thank you once again for arranging this. Okay. May I show it? May I show it? Is that okay? Thank you. I didn't see the 40 Rand super chat. My apologies. Saw the one from Matthew that was right before that, but I didn't see that. So someone sent me a link to a place that they surrendered. Wow. Yep. They gave up their entire lodge. Wow. It's a shame. They surrendered their lodge to come to America as refugees. That's how bad things are. Wow. That's crazy. All right, so did Liesl give me permission? Well, I don't have gout, so I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Marley, exactly. Well, the problem is that the language is imprecise and people are not understanding it. And I don't know what they told you in the orientation, but they either misspoke or misled you. The people get emails and it says be prepared to leave in 2 to 4 weeks. You're not going anywhere in 2 to 4 weeks, most likely. That's just a pro forma sort of thing, a boilerplate statement to be ready to go. You could go in 2 to 4 weeks, but it doesn't mean. Partial affect refugee flights. No idea, RVC. No idea. No idea. We don't know what money is not going to be allocated, so it's impossible to predict. Medicinal biltong. Surrendered how and to who? What, the lodge? I'm not going to share that. I don't have permission to share that information. Having a lord for an ancestor, you could be susceptible to gout in the future. Well, I don't have lords, but I had nobility. Liesl did get permission. Well, how did I miss that? Oh, she said yes. Okay. All right, so Liesl's one of those folks that got caught in a bind where She was supposed to leave, and then her flight got canceled for some bizarre reason. We're trying to sort out why. We don't know why. Hang on a second here. That's not what I want. How do I rotate this darn thing? I hate this. Come on. Rotate. It doesn't let me rotate. That's annoying. Very annoying. Gives me all. Oh, there it is. I found it finally. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. So Liesel's one of the folks who's in a bind, and I said, don't waste your money on food. We can get you food. We're raising donations for Food Socks, and Food Socks, even without donations, coughed up $15,000 of their own funds to help people. We've helped a bunch of families, and so this is what happened. So here you go. Hang on a second here. This is what happened. So Carl from Food Socks sent this to Liesel and her family. So tasty fish stew, chicken biryani, chicken a la king, and Thai green curry. Look at that. A box of Food Socks. A meal for 4 or 6 to 8 children. Look at that. Looky there, folks. So we've been doing this now for a couple of months since the people got screwed in September who didn't fly. Now, we can't do it for the world, but we've certainly been helping a lot of people with this. They're not freeze-dried. No, well, a shutdown has never lasted that long. That's the longest in history. Hey, Anime, what's up? Glad to see you caught up. CB says it looks yummy. It does. I'm kind of hungry, too. It does look yummy to me. Rusty incarceration, Zim, insane. My mate knows him. I have no idea what you're talking about there. I'm not going to tell you which lodge. Why would I do that? Why would I tell you which lodge? Thank you, Colonel, from me and Auntie Floyd. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the 14 Rand super chat. Why would I do that? Why are you guys so nosy? Why are you so nosy about which lodge it is? What, do you want to go claim it for yourself? Give it to the EFF? Exactly. Exactly, Mark Myberg, and that's what I've been telling people for ages. And people either don't watch my program or don't listen to what I say, and then they just assume things, and then they put themselves in a bind. Thank you, Lisa, for letting me share that. Mandy Langefeld, thank you. 140. I missed the super chat from Mad Max. Well, gosh bless it. I'm busy answering everybody's super chats. Hang on. Cop Prof funny. Okay. Oh, the Israeli hospital visit. Okay. Okay, well, that's not showing up here, so I have to go back and find it. I can't use that link from there. And, oh, Monday, thank you for becoming a member. I missed that as well. My apologies. Lisa sent to 40. Mad Max, okay. Well, you didn't give me a link, man. That's not going to work. Okay, God bless it. Oh, I saw that. I chose not to report on that with Mad Max. That's about the Amatembu King. Yeah, no, I know about that. That's on News 24. I just ignored that story. There's no interest to me whatsoever. I don't cover every story. Where was that at? There. They were upset about the king. No, I don't see the story. Oh, there it is. Mischievous Tembu King blindsides. Durko. Yep, there you go. Abatembu King Dale Anyebo has blindsided his family as well as Eastern Cape National Government through his continued proximity to Israel. This time, he's gone a step further by taking Israeli officials to Eastern Cape public hospitals where they allegedly made donations. What do you mean allegedly? They did make it. Why do they have to lie about this stuff? Premier Oscar Mayubani has tasked the health department with investigating how officials accept donations without proper channels. What do you mean proper channels? So what does that mean? You can only take a donation if the ANC officials and caterers get their cut? What does that mean? Received an email yesterday. When I go and read it, it was from my case. It said I'm under review. I must email them. I did, and I get an automatic reply. Well, then that means that they got it, you do. I'm sorry to hear that it's under review. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. On the Move says, thank you so much. Liesel's other half, when we found a temporary place out. Yeah, no, I know about that. She did inform me of that. The person that was offering accommodation for you was very generous, but I don't think they were all that comfortable because they only really felt they had room for one person. Plus, they're renovating their place and they were worried about it. Yeah, so I'm glad you're able to find a place. Yeah, there's even traditional milk costs. Yep. It's got to be shared between them. What, do you make separate meals for people in your house? Do you make steak for one person and poultry for another person and lamb for another person? Of course the meal gets shared. Every meal gets shared. What are you talking about, man? I'm confused. My mother's brother who farms thought it was only for Afrikaners when I spoke to him. My grand was Dutch German. Well, Candace, you need to tell. So look, I need you guys' help here, really. Someone made it very clear the other day. This channel would have 1 million subscribers if only everyone here found 3 people and told them about the channel and got them to subscribe. That's all it would take. And we'd be on the path. Those 3 people would take us from 120,000 to 360,000. And those 360,000 would go, and you do it again, takes us to 1 million. And suddenly this channel is making lots of money as a news outlet. I can hire people to do things. We can improve the quality of video. I'll be able to visit people, do deep investigative journalism, and like James O'Keefe, form a proper media house. Just get 3 people to subscribe. And in that case, your mother's brother. So your uncle. Get him to subscribe. Holden prefers his food on a plate. Well, that's where it goes, Holden. What do you think? They just like dig into that bag and eat out of it? You have to prepare that. You have to heat that meal up. You can add meat to it if you want. And they said, I must just be busy with my file, and they received an auto response. Well, that's what you're going to get, Eudor. Do you, I mean, look, I'm not to criticize you, but do you think that someone's sitting there waiting for your email? Okay, we sent Yudia, we sent an email. Let's wait and see when she responds. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Now we're going to push the automatic button. Come on, Yudia. No, none of these people will be voting here, Mark. Merlo, 140 Rand. Thank you for the 140 Rand and the hearts. Very kind of you. Legal Alien, I started this channel in 2006. I had 2 subscribers until 2020. So no one shared my channel with anybody when it started. Oh, the banking details. Sure, I'll put the bank deals for Food Socks up. Yep. Come on. I need to delete stuff. I think the solid state drive's got too much on it. So here's the banking details if you want to help out Food Socks, if you have the resource to help donate to help them deliver food. And even if you have the resources, you need some food, you can donate there and that'll help pay for it. Eden Community Hope Outreach is the nonprofit organization. They're using Standard Bank's branch in George, 051001. The account number is in yellow, 101-312-97943. I say again, 101-312-97943. If you need tax documents to get credit for making a tax donation, you can ask for your Section 18A form from carl@echo.org.za. There you go, folks. Mandy's been watching, and they're very valuable. Well, thank you for that. Okay. Dem sent me a WhatsApp. Okay. All right. And Liesl, I see your WhatsApp now. Okay. Oh, no. I didn't ask for proof of payment, Dems. That's no. No. I don't need proof of payment. No, I think that was a misunderstanding. No. I don't need. That's very kind. Oh my goodness. That's where. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. Wow. No. I didn't need that. Oh my goodness. I thought a bunch of people donated. My goodness. Wow, I didn't need that. Thank you, Dems. Wow. That's very kind. Very kind. Outbreak of something coming from bats. I had not seen that, Marissa. No, that's not a story. Well, JSA, that's unfortunate. That's a long time to be waiting. So I don't know the status of that. There are definitely some challenges with the way they're doing the system. Some people get through it. Some people get hung up. Again, I mean, like I said, my friend flew to Pretoria back in March, paid out of pocket, part of the pilot program. When 59 people went, didn't get to go. Not denied. Don't even know the current status of the case. If we write to you, what are you thinking about might be able to help? Would it not be seen as we're trying to be manipulative? I understand what you manipulative. Look, I don't work for the government. I can't promise you anything. All I can promise you is I'll try to reach out and find a government official who can answer this. And that's what I do. And, you know, I often don't get any feedback. But I do see movement in people's cases, so I may be getting ignored. I mean, the government has certain restrictions. I mean, you know, while hate wankers in South Africa may not consider me a journalist in media, people in America and the U.S. government do consider me a journalist. And so they have to keep things at arm's length. I'm not working with the government. I don't work for them. I don't get paid by them. So there are certain things, you know, that, you know, so the best I can do is send information to who I hope it's the right person, and I never get feedback. But then I find out, oh, that person's in America. Oh, that person's here. Oh, that person got movement. I do my best, okay? So what do you need to share with me? Well, I can't help anybody at all unless you tell me your case number and your actual name, not your YouTube handle, you know, and you need to send it to me in email. And I can't promise I can help you. That's why most of the times when people send me that information and I try to reach out and try to do something on their behalf, then I get this constant, did you get an update? Did you get an update? No, I don't work for the government. Stop pestering me with updates. I got hundreds of people writing to me. You know, at some point I burn the bridges trying to find this information out to help people. So when I read it, if I don't respond to you, that doesn't mean I haven't tried to take action on your behalf. I don't understand why people, it's not you. But people act like I would work for them. Like they sent me an email yesterday. Why haven't you got me a response? Because I don't work for the government. They answer in their own good time if they even answer me. I have never promised you anything except that I would try to get your information to the government. But I've had pretty good success. I think some people misunderstand my message. All I'm saying is that don't make a mistake. We may listen to the Colonel. Okay, Marley, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think maybe people misunderstood your message. Chat with Rudolph earlier. The system is not working well and lack of communication doesn't help, but it's what it is. A year ago, there was no help. Exactly. Neff, messy help is better than no help at all. Exactly. Again, that's what I tell people all along who get pissed off at me. February 6th last year, you had no offer. And before people get pissy and whiny and complaining and moaning about stuff, you know, doing so, that's a pretty privileged position. Who are you to tell me it's privileged? Well, I can speak on behalf of Congolese and Rohingya and Uyghurs and Somalis and South Sudanese and Chadians who have all applied for being refugees. Over 20,000 of whom were approved and had tickets to come to America, only to have them canceled at the last minute by the Trump administration. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't cheat the system. They were vetted. They had flights. Boom. Shakalaka. You're done. You're not coming here. That's cruel. Look, I'm not asking for refugees to come to this country, but I'm telling you, that's pretty cruel. That's what they did. And so for people to attack me and to piss and moan about the program, when at least you have an opportunity to apply for a program and likely get approved. I have zero evidence of any qualified, eligible person ever having been rejected. Not a single one. I'm not claiming there aren't any, but I don't know of any. I can tell you that I have heard from someone in the U.S. government that there are 0 cases rejected, but that was a month ago. Who knows what's happened in the ensuing weeks. But after nearly a year of this program, 8 months, 9 months of the program, 0 people have been rejected who were eligible. Someone living in Madagascar applying for this program as a South African is not eligible, and therefore they're not allowed to apply. Someone who's committed fraud, telling people, give me money and we'll get you to the front of the queue, having been reported to the FBI, was ineligible for the program because they're criminals. And Mr. Vandenberg and the other guy were never allowed to apply. So I don't know of anyone who has been eligible that has been rejected. I hope they're now using consulates. I'm praying it will come Durban. Helen, I don't know. Helene, I don't know. I don't know. Hope some of those first 2 nights will do another interview with Colonel when they receive their permanent residence. Well, actually, they have, Anton. They have. Thea did one with me when she was in the permanent place. Charles Kleinhans is in his permanent place. Yeah. Earl Langton is in his permanent place. All those people in their permanent place. I mean, most people I've talked to, it's rare that people are still in temporary housing when I talk to them. I usually wait a few weeks or a few months before I talk to people. But we've been getting lots of people just arrive who want to get their interviews done real quickly. And it makes sense. You know, I had a person I've interviewed who was a very good interview who is hesitant to do more interviews because they're now working and their employer doesn't want the publicity. Fair enough. We stay back. I believe there were things that are being confused as the only people that are getting feedback are those that have been found to be eligible. No, I didn't say you were complaining. You're inferring incorrectly. No. Great. I wish to send them all emails. Haha, funny guy, Neff. Helena says, always been present with you personally. Well, I've tried to be, Helena. It's only when people act like asses that I spit venom. Mark is saying perception. I'm not sure who we're talking about there. Well, yeah, I think every case is different. I'm not really sure how to address that one. Yeah, see, here's the problem. This is what I know, and this is not enough to live off. So, 2 things. Office of Refugee Resettlement. The Services to Older Refugees program funds state and alternative programs to ensure that refugees aged 60 or older have access to applicable services for the aging and to provide qualifying refugees with appropriate services not currently available. Refugees aged 60 and above have been in the United States for up to 5 years are eligible for all program services, referral services, interpreter services, citizenship and naturalization preparation services for these refugees. Funding. Services to older refugees award annual funding to states and state alternative programs which subcontract with suitable agencies to provide direct services. It doesn't say about money, though. Services may include access to senior community centers, nutritional services, meals delivered to homebound clients, transportation, interpretation, home care, adult daycare, elder abuse prevention, nursing home, ombudsman services. You do get Social Security income, or supplemental security income, SSI, for income and Medicaid for health. Limited to 7 years, though. So I'm not really sure how that works. Now, those unable to meet naturalization requirements due to disability, special exemption, or citizenship tests are available. While refugees often qualify for SSI, this federal assistance is generally limited to 7 years from date of entry unless they become U.S. citizens. So if you become a U.S. citizen, it continues. Yep. As of 2024, it provides $943 a month for individuals, $1,415 for couples, for those 65 or older or with disabilities. So if you're 65 or older, you're going to get $943 per month, which is not much money. And you never pay into it. $943 times 12 is what, $11,000? $11,316 a year, which is not very much money. Peter O'Reilly, thank you for becoming a member. Exactly. Marissa says, calm down, everybody. I know it's stressful, but you will be contacted. You live for 30 years under idiots. What's a few more months? Exactly. Yep, that's a good point. Thought that it could be the new files get stacked on top. No, it's not. Okay, first off, Rudolph, there aren't files. There aren't files. There aren't files, guys. There aren't files. They aren't files. In the beginning, there were. For the proof of concept, there were emails. They printed the emails out. Maybe they got stacked. Maybe they got misplaced. But my friend was invited to come there, and he went. It was interviewed. Nothing wrong with his interview. He's got a perfectly legitimate case. I know what his situation is. He's got a perfectly legitimate case to prove he's been persecuted. So, and he's also not a starving person. He's not wealthy, but not starving. They aren't files. It's digital. It's in a computer. It's in a computer. It's backed up. Multiple redundancies. You guys are like living in the 20th century. It's like you're living under the National Party. Thank you, Anime. Thank you for grinding through the smack and being you. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Pray there's no shutdown. I won't survive another one. Having 2 flights canceled, not hearing a word from Church World Service since November. Salvatore Leone, send me an email. Please. Case number, full name, number of people in your party. Any cases linked. Send me an email. Tell me your circumstances. All right? Please do. Heinrich is scheduled to work until further notice, including the day of my funeral. Mario the Greek, missed your member chat. Didn't see any Mario the Greek. Peter O'Reilly, I saw. Oh, there it is. I live by the ethic of respect and honor. Mario, my apologies. Didn't hear it, didn't see it. Thank you. Ronell failed medical. That's strange. Thank you for sharing. Maybe do a video analysis of those countries of people that were waiting for departure, living conditions, and the processing times. West House, I've talked about that. People just ignore it. People are self-absorbed. They're worried about themselves and mostly not worried about others. And I get that. I understand that. Yeah, making that video is not going to be watched. So. You're going for fingerprints, you want to know what to expect? I don't want to be a smart aleck, Pats, but your fingers are going to be fingerprinted. What are you asking? Oh, how long it'll be? Oh, it only takes a few minutes. You may have to wait in a queue, but fingerprinting only takes a few minutes. Son of Lim said the program tests our faith and mental faculties and patience, of which I have none. What will we do with the drunken viceroy? Send him some more super chats. I'm staying here because I hate paperwork. Respect to those of the patients to go with the program. Well, that's a crazy reason to stay. Mario, the Greek Cypriot, is laughing. Are you really a Greek Cypriot? That's a country that's in trouble still. It's been a long time since Turkey invaded. 20 minutes, there you go, for both of you, Johan Olafio says. Hendo. Okay, it was okay. Do you think I can take my father's World War II medals to my hand luggage? Yeah, absolutely, Knight of Justice. Absolutely, you can bring those. I visited refugees in Rochester, New York, and they had family photographs. And that's something that they brought that was important to them. An explosion in an Iranian nuclear site. What? Whitebeard just upgraded Master and Commander. Thank you for that. I missed that. I keep missing these things. Why are they not coming? I thought I heard it. Since there's a bit of balls up with our application. I'm sorry to hear that, Road Captain Kev. And Annalene just started the process, okay. Watch any good movies lately? No, but I watched a good series, His and Hers. It's a little hard to keep up with because sometimes it looks like it's dragging, but it's called His and Hers. It's a murder mystery. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. His and Hers. It was on that evil Netflix platform, but I haven't seen any good movies in a while. I haven't had time for movies. I just put that on when I'm trying to fall asleep. Any feedback on your visit to where you were treated rude? Yes, they reached out to another one of the refugees in Rochester to apologize and try to solve the problem. But no, I haven't heard nothing back from Church World Service since then. I will do more work on the Church World Service. I suspect that when I get to Dallas, I'm going to have a lot of time in my hands because I won't be home doing the things I do here. And it looks like my meet and greet is falling apart. So I'll be there for several days. So I'll probably have time to sit around and do more videos and investigate what's going on with Church World Service. Yep. West House, 1,000 Rand. We're not allowed to do super chats as Colonel's making money for his friends. Thank you for that. West House, can I? That's funny. Okay. That's funny. Excuse me. Gosh, bless it. Excuse me. Oh, that's funny. Thank you for the super chat. The clouds are gathering, folks. They're gathering now. Oh, yeah, clouds are gathering. No, I have not. Well, I don't recall if they did my passport last year, but I don't remember such things. I have no idea how they take finger. What? Okay, YouTube takes so much, it's not worth Colonel's effort to put in. No. I watched his and theirs. It was good. Yeah, Linda, I thought that was pretty good. Oh, wow. Okay, so Iran nuclear explosion. Let's pull that up. Iran nuclear explosion. Yep. Breaking Iran nuclear site rocked by explosion. Wow, this has all happened within... Well, this says 6 hours ago, but people are just reporting on now. It was 6 hours ago. It's been reported for as long as 6 hours ago. A military complex in Iran reportedly been rocked by a huge blast. Iran nuclear site rocked by explosion. Military complex in Iran has been rocked by a reported explosion. Amid reports, Trump has been weighing a strike in Islamic Republic. It's not even what caused the blast. Open source intel describes Cell's media monitoring service reported an explosion Tuesday at the Parshian military complex, citing journalist and Iranian political analyst Bennam Gulapur. The unconfirmed report of explosion comes amid heightened tensions at the U.S. aircraft carrying the area. Center of Iran's alleged development of nuclear weapons. Trump recently threatened military action over the killing of people. Mari Nawal, the Quds forces confirmed the explosions heard at the Parshian nuclear facility. They don't know the source or location. It's Express again. It's the same one. U.S. strike over Iran reported explosion at nuclear-linked site fuels World War III fears. Well, look at the media. World War III. They just blow everything up. We don't even know what caused the explosion. That doesn't look like a military strike. Not saying it isn't, just that it doesn't look like one. Yeah, so apparently this was hours ago. It wasn't reported in the mainstream media news this morning. I prepared for my program. Yeah, confirmed doubt, exactly. Yeah, no, I would like to hear more information on this. Rapid response, what's this? Thank you, Max, 35 Rand super chat. POTUS and investigation. Oh, Alex Preddy's death. Okay, let's see what he's got to say. He's in Iowa today.
Do you believe that Alex Preddy's death was justified?
Well, you know, we're doing a big investigation. I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
Do you believe that Alex Preddy...
All right, so Trump said, you know, answering the Preddy thing, he says he needs to see what the investigation tells us. He lost his life documenting state terrorism. What a bunch of nonsense. What a bunch of nonsense. All right, well, yeah. So, 9 hours ago, they denied the explosion. Iranian authorities dismissed reports claiming explosion at one of the country's nuclear military facilities. That was 9 hours ago. And now they've admitted it. Interesting. The Daily Tribune of Bahrain says Iran denied it. This is hours ago. 9 hours ago, they denied the explosion happened. Iranian authorities have dismissed reports claiming explosion at one of the country's nuclear military facilities, stating no incident occurred at the Pagdas region near Tehran. There's been no explosion or incident. But now they admit there's been explosion. Rudolph says, we're so happy to hear you've done USCIS. Every person that has the guts to leave this hellhole is a show of determination, and that persecution is real. Colonel, people must be thankful, even if it takes long. The important thing is it doesn't matter where they put you to work with discrimination. To feel safe is a blessing. Yeah, Debbie, I would agree. If you're made of glass, beware of Trump. Teeny, well said. Someone take a crabhead bit an guy's finger off. Are you serious? What? Officer's going to lose the finger. Good Lord. They keep saying allegedly bit, but obviously. A person has been federally charged with, after court documents said they bit the tip of a Customs Immigration Border officer's finger off in Minneapolis. Federal agents were asked to create a secure perimeter near Nicollet Avenue just after 9 a.m. A CBP officer tried to arrest the person who kicked the canister when they were tackled by another individual, later identified as the person charged. Bit the officer's right ring finger. Officer later found the tip of their finger inside their glove and received medical attention. But they've lost the finger. Jesus Christ. What the hell is wrong with these people? These people are sick. Law enforcement officer's ring finger was bitten off by it. And you wonder why they get shot over the weekend. Minneapolis, these rioters attacked our law enforcement officer, and one of them bit off our officer's finger. Photos of 2 people in custody were shared, though it's unclear which person allegedly severed the finger. There's the fingertip. Heinous assault. Wow.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Karen Scullen. A city already on edge, now faced with yet another deadly shooting by federal agents on the streets of Minneapolis. This one unfolded.
What about biting the finger off? That's what I thought that was supposed to be. So instead, they tell you a story about a finger being bitten off, and they run a news story. Emily Dashaw-Balleril charged with the assault. Claire Louise Feng is charged with assaulting a border agent. Feng tackled a border patrol agent, was attempting to arrest another woman at that point. A second agent attempted to pull Feng away and took her to the ground. She forcibly bit the right ring finger of the agent. Gee, many crickets. These sick people. Feng, an Asian. Is she even legal? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Most definitely proud ancient people in ancient land. Yeah, no, Cyprus is. Well, the Insurrection Act is long overdue in my view. I agree.
Lost a piece of his finger during protests in Minneapolis today. A DHS spokesperson says rioters attacked the officer before one person bit the officer's finger. Authorities say he is expected to lose that finger. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on X after the incident saying the suspect who allegedly bit the finger off an HSI agent in Minnesota today has been arrested and is in custody. I have directed my federal prosecutors to file charges for this heinous assault on our brave law enforcement.
Unbelievable. It's a sick world, folks. A truly sick world. These idiots. Truly sick world. Wow, we got a lot of stuff we've had open here from earlier. The Iranian thing opened a lot of windows for that. I got to close them now. Wow. I saw an interview with Noam yesterday where she said 2 officers suffered biting of fingers. Yep. Money his wife should sue for taking her promise. He should sue for loss of limb. That's just sick. My husband got bit by a tick cup when we were in the duty SAPS. Mark's still in his army 8 years later. No, you should not pay. And if you did, what's Amanda DeBeer paying for? No, you're not supposed to pay fingerprints. You're only supposed to go for your fingerprints where you're told to go. Who's talking about paying for fingerprints? You don't pay for fingerprints. You go where they tell you to go. When is President going to invoke the Insurrection Act? Yep. Oh, fingers will come off a lot easier than you realize. Yep. World is sick. What's wrong with these people? She lost her fingers. She picked up a flashbang. Well, she got what she deserved. I have no empathy for that. She was going to throw that flashbang back at somebody, and she learned the hard way. They are sick. Look at the outside. And President Trump is hard on everyone except the leftist insurrectionists. He didn't do much during BLM. Well, I can't disagree with you on that. He let an insurrection take place in Seattle and did nothing about it. I don't disagree. Yeah. It was a woman. Yeah, none of them protesting about the injured officers. Not because they're calling the officers who are following the law Nazis. The Nazis are the people out there attacking law enforcement. Yep, they're the ones attacking law enforcement. Late fathers from Cyprus. My mother from Greece. Was born in South Africa. Uncle died defending Cyprus' 74 invasion. Ah, okay. Thank you for that, Mario. I'm engaged and we have a child together. Will we be guaranteed to be linked to the flight tickets and accommodation when we do separate refugee applications? You're not guaranteed of anything, Albie. You're not guaranteed of anything. You need to ask to link your cases together. They'll probably accommodate you, most likely, but you're not guaranteed anything. People must be thankful. Okay, got that. Okay. All right. I think I'm caught up. No, biting someone's finger off is not attempted to murder them. You won't die from a finger being bitten off. Anna Marie is going to make coffee. Do they charge 600 Rand to do fingerprints without an appointment? It doesn't matter what they charge for fingerprints because you're not paying for it. So, and you shouldn't pay for it because if you're paying for it, then it's not part of the program and it won't count as far as I know. So you don't pay for fingerprints. It's really not germane or relevant. It is a malicious assault. It is aggravated assault. Absolutely. Well, the Army needs to get out there. I agree. You need to defend these people. Set up perimeters. Put up concertina wire. Yep. You don't pay for fingerprints, Rudolph. Stop paying for fingerprints. Don't go for fingerprints unless they tell you to go for them and where they tell you to go. No, I have no credible information about other refugee processing centers. I talked about that on Sunday. Amanda, every case is different. The way that the handling keeps changing. What follows after the fingerprints, if I tell you something, it may be true today, it may be true in your case, it may not be. And then people get mad at me for misleading them when I'm not misleading. I'm simply telling them the ground truth at the time. No, there is no standard format. There is, but there isn't, if that makes sense. Yep. All right. You're welcome, Loretta. All right, it's time to wrap it up here, folks. What do you think? Time to wrap it up. Thanks for the super chats. I appreciate it. Very kind. And Mario's going to go watch cricket. Well, I guess Mario wants to fall asleep. Yeah, I don't know about my evening, but I've got some work to do. Please go watch my video that I put up. I would really appreciate that. The one last night, if you want to watch that, that's great. But the one I did today would be fantastic. That one I really want to get out there. That's the ANC's looking for boogeymen. So there it is. Please go check that out. All right. Go check out the ANC's looking for boogeymen. Separate hand insurance. No such thing. No hand models. Okay. All right. That's it, guys. Take care. All right. Cheers. Thanks for being here. Be well.